Hello, everybody. Greetings to you today. Today is going to be a very, very burdensome message, very, very sad one, because some of you will be agitated after listening to this, and maybe some of you will even call for a revolution now and like to join Showore. But this is going to be a very, very sad fact that we are going to disclose to you today. The topic is how Nigerian senators are bankrupting the country. How Nigerian senators, the people who are supposed to lead us to promised land, the people who are supposed to give us the best life that we desire, the people who are supposed to be our leaders, they are our elites, our leaders, our VIPs, our aristocrats. They are supposed to be the ones who are the enlightened ones. They are the ones who are supposed to be the ones who are enlightened and who are supposed to enlighten us, the masses. But their lifestyle is what is killing Nigeria. These senators are killing, not just senators, politicians are killing the country. And sometimes you wonder if the kind of democracy that we say we are practicing now, if that is what the Nigerian nation needs or not. And I think it's not. That is not the kind of democracy we need. This democracy or this politics that we are practicing in Nigeria is only killing the country. As the case is right now, the way and the amount of money that the politicians and the senators and the House of Representative members, the kind of salary and amount of allowances they are taking on, the Nigerian economy cannot sustain them. The Nigerian economy cannot sustain 469 senators put together, because we have 109 senators and 360 representatives. So 469 in all, we cannot sustain them. And you will see now why. It's not just that we cannot sustain them, but they are actually leading and bringing the country to our knees. They are taking us to bankruptcy fast. And the hardship, economic hardship that we have today is partly due to their lack of sensitivity, lack of feelings to ordinary people, because our country now is the country with the largest number of poor people in the world. Over 100 million people living in poverty, but our lawmakers are living a lavish lifestyle. They have a lavish pay that is almost 10,000 times more than the national minimum wage. 10,000 times more than the minimum wage, which is 18,000. Now they are trying to bring it to 30,000, but more than 200 times Nigeria's GDP per capita. Nigerian GDP per capita is less than $2,000, and that is more than 200 times the amount that these senators receive. Now, when you come to the Senate and you are a senator and you are welcome as a Senate, they are given what is called welcome package. That welcome package is about 4.6 billion naira just to welcome them. That is what Nigeria spends just to welcome the senators and the representatives into the National Assembly. Almost 5 billion naira. No wonder why governors, when they finish their cadets and their service as governors, that's why they run, all of them run to the Senate to continue their tenure. Why? Because they need the money. They want to keep on living large. Nigerian politicians are less concerned with the cost they incur in public service, despite the fact that about over 100 million of Nigerians, citizens, live in extreme poverty. They don't care that their own salary, their lifestyle is making the living condition of ordinary Nigerians to even be much more worse. Because most Nigerians are living on less than $2 a day, more than 100 million people. And they are living 200 times better than an ordinary Nigerian. This is the way the elites live, not just the politicians. The elite in Nigeria, we are running a feudalistic system of government, aristocratic system of government. That must change. There are two or three ways to resolve this problem, especially with the senators. There are a lot of ideas, and I think we need a national conference to discuss this, because either we are going to reduce the number of senators, 400 and something. Why do we need that? There are too many, number one, or we are going to change the two chambers into one chamber, or better still, what I we canvass for, what I will campaign for, is that let them be there. Let us to the two chambers, the senators and the House of Representatives, but let them work for free. They are patriots, isn't it? They love the country, isn't it? They claim that they serve the country, we want to serve the country, they are patriotic. Well, let them work for free. Let them work for free. But instead of coming to the Senate to work for free or to the National Assembly to work for free, the new Senate president that they just elected now, that everybody was clamoring for from APC, Ahmad Lawan, he said that his salary is not even enough, that the salary they are getting is not enough. So I think he wants to get some more salary. And he was complaining that his salary is only 750,000. But he's not telling us about the allowances. What about the allowances, Mr. President, Mr. Senate President? Because the audit that was done at the end of 2014, right, between the audit of the Senate between 2005 and 2014 shows us that over $3 billion was spent just in 10 years from 2005 to 2015 to 2014, which is actually less than 10 years, 9 years. So the expenses of the Senate were over $3 billion. So if you look at the details of the remuneration of the average senator in Nigeria, you will scream. And let me show you. This is in the internet. I'm not sure. I didn't do this analysis myself. I got this from the internet, so I'm not sure how accurate the figures are. But this is what is there out there, because there is so much secrecy in the National Assembly. They are not opening their books to us, and when they are not opening their books to the public, anybody can come up with their figures. So, but this is what is out there. So let's see the picture of how the monthly salary, or maybe not salary, but allowances and everything that a senator gets, one senator gets on yearly basis or monthly basis. Let's say the basic salary is said to be 2.4 million naira. That is the basic salary, all right? But apart from that basic salary, then they have what is called the Hardship Allowance, which is 50% of the basic salary. And that comes to 1.2 million naira. And then apart from that, they have what they call Constituency Allowance. Now, I know that the Constituency Allowance is supposed to be used for the development of their constituencies. But tell me, what are the constituencies that have been developed by senators? Tell me. Show me these constituencies, the local governments, the constituencies that have been developed by the government, by the senators. Even those constituencies might not even know that they are giving them money to develop them, to bring life to their constituencies. And they will rather, before the election, go and spend money in the constituencies to be elected. And that money, they make it look as if they are the ones who are spending it from their pocket. They will not tell you that the federal government is actually giving money to every senator to spend to develop his own constituency. But the amount of money that they are getting for the constituency is 200% of their basic salary, which comes to almost 5 million naira. Now, then apart from that, they have the newspapers allowance. The newspaper allowance has to be 50% of their basic salary, which is 1.2 million newspaper. But why do you even need newspaper allowance these days when you have internet? I mean, you have, your internet. There's no need for that. That has to be removed. And then another funny one, they have wardrobe allowance. Wardrobe allowance is clothing allowance, which is 25% of their basic salary, which comes to 621,000. But why do they need wardrobe allowance when were they not wearing clothes before they were elected? And were they not even well-to-do? These are the well-to-do Nigerians. Some of them were governors, some of them were successful people. They were already successful. Why should I be clothing them? Why don't they come and wear their own clothes to their workplace? Are they doing fashion parade in the Senate? Then they have another one they call recess allowance. That's for holidays, so that they could travel. 10% of their basic salary. So what about other Nigerians who are not in government? Don't they travel? Don't they have recess? Don't they have holidays? Don't they have vacation? They have a way of taking care of themselves. Why should the Nigerian government be paying for salary every senator? I mean, 400 and something of them, almost 500 of them. And that is 10% of their basic salary, which is 248,000 naira. Accommodation, which is accommodation allowance, that is another one, which is 200% of their basic salary. So it's 2 times their basic salary. It comes to almost 5 million naira. And then you have utility allowance with utilities, and maybe you want to buy iron or shine your shoe, 30% of their basic salary, which is 828,000 naira. So these are some nonsense that are happening. Look at the next one. The next one is domestic staff allowance. Domestic staff, that is Nigerians. We have the elite Nigerians, then you have the masses. So from the masses, you have slaves. So those domestic staffs are the slaves. And then the Nigerian government has to, the Nigerian population have to be paying for Nigerian senators to keep slaves. Whereas these people are supposed to be there to create, equality for all Nigerians so that there will be no slaves, so that we will all be equal. Instead of that, we are practicing oligarchy. We are practicing the aristocracy. We are practicing feudalism. That is where you have domestic staff. And government people are even doing that. This is evil. 70% of their basic salary, that is what we give them, pay them extra time to be keeping slaves or housemaids or domestic staff, we call them. And that comes to 1.8 million naira. Then you have another allowance that is called entertainment allowance. And the entertainment allowance is 30% of their basic salary, which is 828,000. See, it's all crazy. Personal assistance allowance, they have that one too, which is 25% of their basic salary. It comes to 621,000 naira. Then you have vehicle maintenance allowance, which is 75%, because we didn't ride their own vehicle before they came. 75% of their basic salary, which comes to 1.8 million naira. Then you have the leave allowance. This is even different from the one we saw before. Leave allowance. They have to go on leave, then you have 10% of their basic salary, 248,000 naira. Then you have severance gratuity when they finish, when they are no more elected. You pay them 300% of their basic salary, which is 7,400,000. That is what you pay them. Then you have car allowance again. That's for buying new cars for them. That's come to 400% of their basic salary, which comes to almost 10 million naira on every senator. So the total amount, if you are going to calculate all these things together and you are going to add them all up, it comes to monthly salary of 181,000, almost $182,000. That is in naira, it's going to be 29 million naira, 29 million naira or 181,000 dollars. That's why people are rushing to this place. And then the yearly salary or the yearly income these people reckon will come to, because if you multiply 29 million by 12, it comes to 353 million naira or 2 million naira, $2 million. A little more than $2 million a year is what comes to the hand of every senator. And we have about 500 of them, 460 something thousand, of the senators are less, 100 and something, 109. Then with the House of Representatives, which is a little bit less, But you see, Nigeria economy cannot sustain this kind of National Assembly. We cannot sustain this kind of senators. Something needs to be done urgently. And I call upon the President of Nigeria and the National Party, the APC, and the national leaders to do an emergency meeting and organize a committee and to discuss this and to come up with a solution, because Nigeria economy cannot sustain this. Why your population, the people that you are representing, are living in penury, the people that you are representing are living on less than $2 a day, you are living like even people are not living in the Western world, in Europe. You are living like kings, you are living like bourgeois, you are living like, like oppressors. And I think the president needs to hear this voice and this cry and do something. If we are going to reduce all these things and they will only be paid 20% of all this or 10% of all this is enough for them. And that money should be used and sent to the children that cannot go to school. It should be used to support the families that are living on abject poverty. It should be used to, increase the salaries of the workers. This is the kind of thing that could lead to a bloody revolution. And if we don't want that bloody revolution, we need to do something about the salaries of our National Assembly representatives. For the love of God, church and nation. Peace. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now, we need to spread this word, and we need to do it together. For that to happen, we need your help. Just 5 little steps that you could help us to spread the word. Number one thing we need you to do is to like the videos. Please go like this video right now. Number 2, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Number 3, we need you to press and click on that notification bell. You see the bell? Go press on it. And number 4, we need you to go comment. Write your comment, good or bad. Just write what you feel. Number 5, share on every platform. Share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Just share and spread the word. Thank you so much.